Hey, welcome back to Not So Complicated. And I figured out that the problem with online lectures are that it is very monotonous, right? And also we tend to go away from these lectures minutes or seconds after starting, right? So I came up with a solution. I came up with the idea that let's make this lecture a game, right? So I will do three blunders intentionally and you have to hunt them down in this entire lecture and then comment your like what do you think the blunders are, and I will reply to your comments whether you are right or wrong. So what actually this thing does to you is that active recall, active retrieval, right? So that will help you to remember each details of this, right? So just active recall will happen. So let's begin. Multiple endocrine neoplasias, right? So these multiple endocrine neoplasias, these are actually congenital syndromes, and they actually happen is autosomal dominant inheritance, right? Autosomal dominant inheritance, and here is a mnemonics to remember that the X-men, that is MEN men, the X-men are dominant over villains. X-Men is the movie series, obviously, so they are dominant over villains, right? So there are subtypes of these. The subtypes of multiple endocrine neoplasia are MEN1, MEN2A, and MEN2B. There is mnemonics to remember what syndromes appear in these. What syndromes, what tumors or lesions appear in each of these, right? So in MEN1, the mnemonics is 3P. In MEN2A, the mnemonics is 2P1M, 2P1M, and in MEN2B, it is 2M, 1P. Okay, let's talk about them individually. So in MEN1, that is multiple endocrine neoplasia type 1, there are P. 1P is pituitary tumors, another is pancreatic endocrine tumors, and another is parathyroid adenomas, right? So 3Ps, you have to remember these 3Ps. And pituitary tumors, like the prolactinomas, are maximum in pituitary tumors, and the incidence of the tumor is 10 times higher in male, that is male to female ratio of pituitary tumors is 10:1. Okay, so the other lesion is pancreatic endocrine tumors, as in Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, that is also called gastrinoma, and gastrinoma there is G cell tumor, right? And the G cell actually secretes what? They secrete acid, HCl. So that is why HCl secretion will be very high in Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, and we use PPI as the treatment, right? So insulinomas, they can happen, that is beta cell tumor, and BIPomas, and then glucagonomas, they are very rare. Glucagonomas, they are very rare. The other thing is parathyroid adenomas, right? So parathyroid adenoma, there is hyperparathyroidism is a clinical picture. So they are associated with MEN1 gene. It is very simple to remember the gene for MEN lesions, right? So it is in the name. The name of the lesion is the associated gene. So MEN1 gene, that is tumor suppressor gene, it codes for menin. Again, MEN men for menin, and they lie in chromosome 11. Okay, so angiofibromas, collagenomas, and meningiomas. Meningiomas, these all are actually benign tumors, right? So in meningiomas, they can happen intravascularly, or intraventricularly, or then they can happen in the convexity of brain. Right, this is the membranes, that is the durameter, subarachnoid matter, and the pyometer. This is the brain, right? So this is the convexity of brain. Let's say the tumors arise from this to inside, so they actually compress the brain region and present with compression syndrome, right? Compression symptoms. So the other is MEN2A. The MEN2A has 2P and 1M. So 1P is parathyroid hyperplasia, not adenoma, hyperplasia. Adenoma in MEN1 and hyperplasia in MEN2A. The another one is pheochromocytoma. It is a tumor of adrenal gland, that is also adrenal medulla, right? So adrenal medulla secretes catecholamines, This is the tumor. There is a very specific thing about pheochromocytoma. We will talk about it. So in parathyroid hyperplasia, one is parathyroid, another is pheochromocytoma, and then another is M for medullary thyroid carcinoma, that is neoplasm of parafollicular C cells, right? And they secrete calcitonin. What is the function of calcitonin? Calcitonin actually increases blood calcium level, right? So thyroidectomy is required in case of medullary thyroid carcinoma. So talking about pheochromocytoma, there is rule of 10%. I have made a video about that if you don't know. So there is rule of 10%. The 10% of pheochromocytoma are associated with hypertension, 10% are extra-adrenal, 10% are benign, right? So there are a lot of things. 10% is calcify. There are a lot of mnemonics, like 10 things in here. So I have made a video, you can check it out. It is associated with mutation in red gene, which is proto-oncogene. I have made a video on remembering proto-oncogene and also tumor suppressor genes if you haven't watched it. The codes for receptor tyrosine kinase, which lies in chromosome 10. So in main 1 lesion, the gene lies in chromosome 11, but in main 2A, gene lies in chromosome 10. Okay, so in main 2B mutation, the mnemonics is 2M 1P, right? So one of them is medullary thyroid carcinoma, the same as in this place. The other is mucosal neuromas, and 1P is pheochromocytoma again. So two of the lesions of main 2A match the two of the lesions in main 2B. Okay, the only thing that is different is mucosal neuromas, right? So mucosal neuromas, they can either be oral or intestinal ganglioneuromatosis. And in mucosal neuromas, you can see the lesions here. They are associated with Marfanoid habitus. What is Marfanoid habitus? There is something called Marfan syndrome, right? The hands and legs are very long in that syndrome. We have to talk about that in a very detailed manner someday, not today. So Marfan syndrome. So that kind of habitus is seen in main 2B. It is also due to mutation in red gene. Same gene, red gene, red gene. There is main 1 gene for main 1 gene, red gene for main 2A and main 2B, chromosome 10 for main 2A and main 2B, chromosome 11 for main 1, and 3P, pituitary tumors, pancreatic endocrine tumors, and parathyroid adenomas for main 1. Then parathyroid hyperplasia and medullary thyroid carcinoma and pheochromocytoma for main 2A. This medullary thyroid carcinoma and pheochromocytoma, they are for main 2B also, and mucosal neuroma, this is the different thing in main 2B. Okay, that is how we complete multiple endocrine neoplasia. Here is the mnemonics: 3 P's, 2 P's, 1M, and 1 P, 2M, right? This subsets, here is the subset. Parathyroid is a subset between main 1A, main 1 and main 2A. Here is carcinoma, parathyroid adenoma, here is adenoma, and then here is hyperplasia, right? So pheochromocytoma and medullary thyroid carcinoma are common between main 2A and main 2B. These are different. Pituitary and pancreas is different in main 1, and then mucosal neuromas is different in main 2B. So that is how you can remember. So that is all. I have already made 3 blunders. Now it is your turn to comment it down. And thank you for staying with me if you are still here, and subscribe for the more clinical polls. Thank you.